o'clock at 9 p.m. tomorrow night, President Trump is going to address the nation from the Oval Office. Significantly, this is his first Oval Office address. The president has been very, very careful over the last 2 years not to make an address from the Oval Office. They wanted to save it for what he thinks is a big deal, and this is it in his mind. He says on Twitter he will address the nation at 9 p.m. tomorrow night. We here at WSB, of course, will carry it live and take your reaction afterwards. But he wants to address the nation overall, and the media is now upset over whether or not they will have to carry his speech. I kid you not. MSNBC, of all things, says they're not sure. Other networks are saying possibly not. Y'all, this is the President of the United States. Now, the media is right that when Barack Obama did his wall situation, or his DACA situation, rather, after he lost the Senate, they didn't carry it live. That is a fair point. Networks, ABC, CBS, and NBC, they did not carry Barack Obama's address to the nation live after he lost the Senate and decided he was going to implement DACA by executive order. That is true. However, this is President Trump's first Oval Office address, and we're in the middle of a government shutdown. There is a significant difference there in that regard, and that you have cable networks suggesting they may not carry it is outrageous. These people carry the president's tweets with wall-to-wall coverage. I mean, it's conceivable that the media would cover the president's tweets tomorrow night at 9 o'clock more than if he addressed the nation from the Oval Office based on the media standard. That the media is complaining about this at all gives the president all of the ammunition he needs to show just how biased the media actually is in this. Just think about how they cover him if he sneezes, how they cover him if he goes up the steps of Air Force One, how they cover him if he tweets. I mean, they carry the landing of Air Force One wall to wall. They cover his campaign rallies, and yet they don't want to cover an address from the Oval Office. This does give the president ammunition. One TV news network executive told Oliver Darcy at CNN that this is a damned if they do, damned if they don't situation. If they don't cover it, of course, the president does have ammunition. If they do cover it, they think the president just makes stuff up. The media really doesn't know what to do with this president, which is why I think he probably wins re-election in 2020, by the way. They really don't know how to handle the president. They don't know how to react to the president. They don't know how to navigate what the president does. It's very, very telling their outrage over whether or not to cover live his first address from the Oval Office. Now, what is he going to say? Well, the president wants $7 billion for his wall. He really wants $5 billion, but he's raising the number. And this is somewhat silly negotiations from the White House. They want $5 billion, so the president has decided to ask now for $7 billion, upping the amount of money he wants, hoping the Democrats will say, okay, we cry uncle, we'll give you $5 billion. The Democrats want zero. The real negotiating position is $5 billion, and by raising the number, the president's hoping he will get it. He's also now saying we don't need a physical wall along the border. Border Patrol agents have actually asked the president's team if they would consider revising the plan and use steel slats instead of an actual wall. There are a couple of reasons Border Patrol agents want this. One is they're hoping that if they use steel slats that are big enough that they can be hammered down into the ground, because they are aware of tunneling operations along the border, and they would like if they can get, and I don't think this is physically possible, but nonetheless, they're hoping that they could get steel slats that could in some way be hammered into the ground far enough now to disrupt the tunneling operations that the drug dealers use. But more importantly, they want steel slats because they want to be able to see through to the other side and see who's coming. They also want gaps in the fencing so that farmers who have livestock can get to the Rio Grande for water for their crops, which is an ongoing situation down there now. But the Border Patrol has come out pretty strongly saying they do want some level of security. I got to tell you, and I want to spend a few minutes on this issue here in just a minute. I'm really shocked by the number of people who are trying to turn the fencing, the wall, into some sort of moral issue.